Hi friends, welcome back to the Saffron Box. I'm Yamini Sharma and today I'm here with another video which talks about the transit of Saturn into the sign of Aquarius. So Saturn, which is currently in the sign of Capricorn, will be moving into the next sign, that is Aquarius, on the 17th of January 2023. And from there it spends about 2 years 2 months and exits out of Aquarius, moves into Pisces on the 29th of March 2025. So this is a period of about 2 years 2 months which Saturn spends in the sign of Aquarius. Now this is an important transit because Saturn has been in the sign of Capricorn. It did touch Aquarius for a very short time earlier this year and then became retrograde, came back to Capricorn. Saturn is moving from Capricorn to Aquarius. Capricorn by default rules over the karma. It is by default the 10th house in the natural horoscope. Karma, effort, hard work, persistence, consistent effort, the way you think, right? The way you absorb information, the way you think, the way you handle the world. And now it is moving on to Aquarius. Aquarius is by default the 11th house, the house of gains, the house of profits, your social networks, your large professional networks, large groups of people, your elder siblings, anything which is done for a large group of people, inventions, innovations, changes. Aquarius is the sign of the future, right? So here the transit of Saturn becomes very important. It is important to study what will Saturn do in the sign of Aquarius. Saturn is also an airy planet, right? So here the element is also the same. Saturn is airy, and so is the sign of Aquarius. So here we talk about a lot of ideas related to the future, a lot of innovations, a lot of research, which finally impacts us in the future. And Saturn is also the planet of hard work, of dedication, of discipline, of the masses. So here a lot of effort is also shown being done towards the future. So a lot of ideas do get discussed. Something which impacts everybody, something which impacts large organization is what we are going to see while Saturn is here. Saturn also, while it is going to be in the sign of Aquarius, it will be aspecting the sign of Aries, where we currently have Rahu. Jupiter will also be joining Rahu later in the 2023. So Jupiter and Rahu together will be aspected by Saturn, by the third aspect. So that is again something which is very important. Jupiter is the planet of expansion. Rahu is also a planet of materialism on a lower plane, materialism, growth, material growth, illusion, things which have not been understood till now, right? So here Saturn aspecting Jupiter and Rahu also, though for a few months, will give a lot of impetus towards things for the future. So a lot of effort will be done collectively by people towards the future generations, or towards ideas which are yet to come. Right, so there is a lot of potent energy when we talk about Saturn in the sign of Aquarius, and then further on aspecting Jupiter and Rahu as well. Right, Saturn is also the planet of discipline, of service. It is an Avashyam Bhavi planet. Avashyam Bhavi meaning it has to bless you for something to happen. Saturn commits and delivers. It never overcommits and it never underdelivers. So whatever Saturn promises, it definitely comes to you. Saturn represents iron, remember. So whatever is built on iron or whatever is built up of iron always stays on for years and years. So that is the strength of what Saturn promises you also, or the impact of Saturn can also be seen like that. It has a very long lasting impact, and something which cannot be washed away, something which cannot be rubbed off, right? So hence understanding the transit of Saturn is always very important. Now, who will be affected by this transit? Actually, all of us will be affected by this transit. Saturn, you have to see which house is it ruling in your birth chart. Where is it transiting? Where is it going to aspect, etc.? What kind of a dignity is Saturn in your birth chart also? But though it affects everybody, a small part of us, or a small part of the population, will be affected more. And what is this? What chunk am I talking about? People who are undergoing Sarasati. So if you have your moon in the sign of Capricorn, or the sign of Aquarius or Pisces, that means you are undergoing Sarasati. For people in Sagittarius, people with Sagittarius moon, Sarasati ends completely. For people with moon in Capricorn, this is going to be the last phase of Sarasati now. And those who have moon in the sign of Aquarius, this is going to be the middle phase of the Sarasati. And for people with moon in the sign of Pisces, it is going to be the first phase of their Sarasati. So 2.5 years, right? People who are undergoing Shani Mahadasha, Saturn Mahadasha, or Antardasha also, because whenever we are talking about Mahadasha, Saturn has a Mahadasha of 19 years. And whichever planet's Mahadasha are you undergoing, the Saturn Antardasha also is always for a longer time. So Antardasha also makes a major impact. So this category, the Sadesati or the Mahadasha category, this people who are undergoing these periods will obviously see a more pronounced or more deeper impact of the transit of Saturn. Also, if you have major planets in the nakshatras owned by Saturn, which is Pushya, Anuradha, and Uttar Bhadrapad, in such a case also you will see major events triggering up. It again depends on individual charts, because each individual chart is unique, each chart is different. So personalized impact has to be studied by an astrologer in detail, right? So here, when we look at the transit of Saturn, Saturn always, aspects the third, the seventh, and the 10th house from itself wherever it is transiting. Also, one more thing which I forgot to mention earlier, a lot of major impact will also be seen by people who have an exalted Saturn. Meaning, if you have Saturn in the sign of Libra, that is again when if you have Saturn in Libra, Saturn during its transit will be in the sign of Aquarius, which is, and it will form a trine with the sign of Libra. So that there again there'll be a major impact. Good or bad is something which, again, as I said, depends on the individual charts, but a major impact can definitely be seen. Right, so I'll go over the sign wise impact on all the 12 signs. What does this transit hold for all the 12 signs? Do check your ascendant. For some, even the moon sign will be good to see. You may see a lot of things resonating with you with respect to your moon sign as well. Right? So I'll begin with Aries. When we talk about Aries, Saturn is moving into your 11th house. 11th house of gains, 11th house of network circles, your profits, all your desires, how are they fulfilled? So, here in the last 2.5, 3 years, if you have been putting in consistent effort, consistent hard work is what you have been putting in, then this is the time which will show you rewards. Saturn by default becomes the Labhesh for you. It rules over the Labsthan, which is the 11th house. So here Saturn will be doing its duty to give you the profits, give you the gains which you deserve. Saturn, remember, always gives you what you deserve, depending on the past and all the past karmas which you have done. So Saturn always gives that. It never underdelivers, it never overdelivers. So here this could be a time of monetary gains, of material gains, of thinking through a lot of ideas, of a lot of interaction with your social network, with your professional network. And Saturn being here in the 11th house will always strengthen whatever is already promised to you. So you may now undergo a process where you hold on to the true friends, or the true people who are true to you will stick on, and you may see a change in your network circles also. So Saturn always makes you come face to face with reality. You may lose some friends, but you may retain the right ones. You may retain the right connections, right? So here Saturn promises monetary gains also. Saturn being in the 11th house, whatever is your material desire, whatever is your desire related to monetary gains, that can also become more strengthened, or possibility of happening also plays out. Saturn from here aspects the Lagna, it aspects the 5th house as well as the 8th house. So while here the monetary gain and all that is taken care of, this is a time to put in extra effort towards your health, towards your own well-being. Right? So if you have any chronic health issues, if you have any health problems as such, you need to take extra care of yourself. Saturn makes you work on your physical body. So the right diet, the right exercise, all that, whatever is required to maintain your physical being is what you need to put effort on. Saturn also aspects the 5th house. So here you could see some strain in your relationship with your children also. That is again something which you need to tread carefully about. For some of you who are looking at conception, I think this could be a time where a gain of progeny or conception chances are a little more. Then Saturn aspects the 8th house also. It's the Karak of the 8th house. 8th house is a Trik Bhava, is a Dostana. So matters related to legacy, matters related to ancestral properties, ancestral gain, ancestral issues could also be a matter of concern. You could be working on these things. Such things come up, you have to deal with them. Those of you who are in the field of research, etc., research, mining, deep studies, archaeology, they could also find themselves getting even more busier in their projects, getting even more busier in their work. Right? So, overall, this is a good time for the Aries ascendant. But yes, do take care of your health, and do take care of your relationship with your children also. Saturn aspecting the fifth house can also make you a little more mature in your thinking. So the way you were thinking, some process happens, some changes happens. You look at life in a more matured way, in a more collected and composed way. Then I move on to the next sign of Taurus. So for Taurus, Saturn comes into your 10th house. From the ninth, it is moving to the 10th. It is also a Yoga Karak planet for you. And from the 10th house, it aspects your 12th house, your 4th house, as well as the 7th house. So for the Taurus ascendant, Saturn being a Yoga Karaka is impacting the Kendra as such. And here, when this kind of a placement is seen, when Saturn comes to the Kendra in its own sign, there is a Shash Yoga also which gets formed. So it gives you a lot of prominence in your workplace. The name and fame, the reputation, the hike in reputation which you were to come across earlier, which you had been working for earlier, now comes to you. So some of you would see an elevation in your responsibilities, an elevation at your workplace, could be a promotion, could be a better job. And for some of you, it just could be a better boss, a better superior whom you start dealing with, right? There is also, when it moves from the 9th to the 10th, earlier it was in the house of your luck or your bhagya, and now it is coming to your karma. So your that trail, a trail continues, right? So here your luck can support your karma provided you do your karma properly, right? So Saturn always focuses on what has been done. It can see through, it can see the real face of you. So whatever you have been working on, whatever you have been focusing on, now your luck can also help you out. Saturn is also aspecting the third house, as I said. So if you had been looking at a chance to move out for work, move out for settlement, foreign settlement, all those things could also play out now, with Rahu also being in the 12th. So Saturn aspecting the 4th and the 12th house together, migration out of your homeland, out of your home to some place far, to a foreign country, is highly possible. Those of you who are conducting their businesses could also get an element of foreign connection, some foreign import or export, or some foreign element can come in, right? So a good time for people. This is a busy time, I would say. If you had been seeing a lull period, now is the time when you see an active period, a busy period work wise. Also, a favorable time for you to put in more effort towards your uh, home, towards your spouse, your marital life. For some, those who are in their 20s or 30s, this could be a time to put in more efforts here. But if you are seeing this Saturn return for the third time, or maybe you are someone who's a little older, seeing it for the second time, but seeing it at a very past middle age or old age as such, then this could also give you a sense of detachment from home, or a detachment from relations around. So you want to skim through what is coming to you. You want to keep the necessary and skim out the rest. Right? So it can also show a lot of spiritual growth also happening. Depends on the age and stage you are in. And I'm saying this because the 12th house is also being aspected by Saturn as such. Right? Then I move on to the next sign of Gemini. So for Gemini, Saturn comes to your ninth house. comes to your Bhagyasthan. So all that time it spent in the eighth house, now it's over. It has made its breakthrough from the eighth, come to the ninth house. And it is a Trikon Lord for you, an important planet for the Gemini ascendant. It is a friend of the Lagnesh Mercury as well. So here it again boosts your luck factor. Ninth Lord coming to the ninth house. Luck factor gets boosted. The help from your seniors, the help from your elders in the family comes to you at the right time. Your father, your gurus, elder people, your uncles, these kind of, elder people in the family help you out. You get their support. Also from here, Saturn aspects the 11th house, the third house, as well as the sixth house. Saturn aspecting the 11th house can actually make you be in a advantageous position in terms of your gains. So you get to fulfill your desires. Whatever had been pending for a long time, now all those things come through. Right? So all this while Saturn was in the 8th house, your Bhagesh, that is Saturn itself, was in a Trik Bhava. So from the Bhagya angle, from the luck angle, things were not so good. Now here your luck factor is getting activated again. So your desires get met. Lot of long journeys happen. The third and the ninth house both are getting activated. Both are seeing a solid impact by Saturn. So a lot of long journeys, lot of pilgrimages can also take place. Be careful regarding your father's health. This is not a very great time, especially if your father is very old or has some health issues. Spend more time with him, take care of his health. That is again a very important thing which this transit shows. Also, Saturn impacts the sixth house. Sixth house of growth. And the ninth lord is impacting the sixth house. So your daily routine, your daily effort, try to be more disciplined, try to be more structured in the way try to be more organized in the way you approach your life, in the way you do your daily things, the way you take care of your health. This could be a time of mental and physical transformation. Saturn aspecting the third and the sixth, two Upche Bhavas. Third house deals with your subconscious mind and sixth deals with your physical health, with your body, with all the opposition which you have. So it tells you to be more structured, tells you to be more disciplined in the way you are handling things. Right? Though for some of you who do not have a very great state of health, or constitutionally you are a little on the weaker side, this could show some sudden diseases also coming up. Saturn being in the ninth and the sixth connection can show up some difficulties in terms of your health. Also keep your legal work or any kind of work which you have to do with the outside world, which can become a point of conflict. Keep things in order, keep things organized. So now I move on to the next sign of Cancer. For Cancer, Saturn moves out of your 7th and comes to your 8th house. It is the ruler of your 7th house also, as well as your 8th. And 8th house, the Karka is also Saturn. It is coming to its Mol Trikon sign as well. So here there is a lot of strength which is coming into the 8th house. All the 8th house significations get a major boost. The way you handle your joint finances, your partner's finances, the way you're going about your research work gets a lot of push. This could be a time where your relationship with others comes into the focus. There's a lot of transformation in the way you deal with others, in the way you deal with your spouse, in the way you deal with your in-laws. So this is a time for transformation. This is something, this is a period which will make you open towards transformation, whether you like it or don't. Also, Saturn from here aspects the 10th house, the second house, as well as the fifth house. So with the third aspect aspecting the 10th house, Saturn could give in some challenging situations at your workplace. The 8th lord looking at the 10th house. So some challenging situations, or for some it could be a break in their job, or some difficulty in job ending up in a transforming situation in your job, in your workplace. Also, there's a lot of focus on finance matters. Second and the eighth house, both houses are getting affected. So some joint decisions regarding family money could be taken. Inheritance matters can come up. Inheritance money, the way it is invested, all such decisions can come up to you. Saturn also aspects the fifth house. So here, a lot of work, hard work with respect to your children, how you're helping them shape up their future also comes up. If you are in the field of research, of 8th house matters you're connected with, occult research, archaeology, mining, etc., then this could be a major time period. You could end up learning a lot at your work. A lot of new learning takes place. Also, Saturn being in the 8th itself, 8th house is the house of chronic diseases. 8th house is also a trick bhava, not a difficult, not a very easy place to be. So here, take care of your health. Any chronic issues may resurface. So make sure that you're getting your checkups done on time, taking care of your health. If you're prone to any genetic problem, if you have any inherited disorders also, that is again something which you need to be cautious about. Moving on now to the next sign, that is Leo. So if you have a Leo ascendant, Saturn moves into your seventh house. It is the owner of the sixth and the seventh, comes to the seventh house, which is a Kendra Bhava, and aspects the ninth house, the Lagna, as well as the fourth house with its third, seventh, and tenth aspect. Now, any planet which affects the Kendras as well as the Trikona, Lagna also, becomes a very important planet, becomes that particular transit becomes very important. And in this case, it is Saturn. Saturn is going to be here for a period of more than 2 years in the seventh house and aspecting these three bhavas as well. So here, I would say people who are doing their business, people who have their own venture, who are in a partnership venture also, will see more settlement, will see more work, more efforts need to be put in their enterprise. More efforts need to go towards their work. Saturn here aspects the third house, aspects the ninth house as well with its third aspect. So a lot of journeys, a lot of running around can also be seen. This will be a period of changes with regard to your work. Also a great opportunity to upscale your work or upskill yourself also. Saturn is aspecting the fourth as well as the ninth house. It is also aspecting the Jupiter and Rahu conjunction, which is going to happen for a few months in the ninth house. So if you want a skill upgradation, if you want to learn more regarding your venture, regarding your business, you want to get more expertise in your work, this is a great time to do so. and more efforts will go towards learning anyway. So if you are a student, if you are anybody who is in the learning phase, more efforts towards learning will anyways be there during this time period. Saturn also aspects the Lagna as well as the fourth house. So here this could be a time period of changes in the residence, changes in your home, simply shifting houses or moving from one place to the other, moving from one city to the other can also be seen. There'll be a lot of changes in the way you handle your relationships. Whenever Saturn impacts uh, the Lagna and the way it is impacting the whole chart in case of the Leo sign, in case of the Leo ascendant, especially if it is your Saturn return, or you have Saturn in the Lagna itself, then this becomes a period of great change. By the end of this transit, you'll come out as a more wiser and more mature person. So brings in a lot of learning which makes you more mature in the way you handle people, in the way you handle your relationships, in the way people view you also. So you mature from the inside. This will be also a time to focus on your marriage, focus on your married partner. But for some, it may also become a time period of detachment. Saturn is impacting the Lagna. Saturn is impacting the fourth and seventh. So it is sitting in the seventh house itself. So, depending on the age and stage you have, depending on the combinations of your promise of your chart, this could also be a time to look within. This could also be a time to detach yourself from the worldly affairs, look within, and concentrate more on your inner growth, concentrate more on your spiritual growth also for some. This may not hold true for everybody. This is only for some people, depending on their age and stage and the promise of their chart, as I mentioned. Then moving on to the next sign of Virgo. So if you have a Virgo ascendant, Saturn comes to the sixth house, own sign, sign of Aquarius, and the sixth house. And from here it aspects the eighth house. Sitting from a Trik Bhava, it aspects another Trik Bhava, that is the eighth. Another Trik Bhava, which is the 12th house with its seventh aspect. And the third house. Third house is also a malefic house. So Saturn sitting in a Dostana aspects two Dostanas and another malefic house, which is the third. So I would say that this is, it helps you tide over your own difficulties, tide over the kind of opposition or the kind of problems which you were dealing with. Saturn is sitting in a Upche Bhava, so it helps you grow. Now it kinds of suppresses the negativity of the sixth house, negativity of the eighth and the 12th houses also to some extent, right? If you are somebody who is more inclined towards meditation, towards mystical matters, towards spiritual growth, you like spending time alone, you like to understand life, you like to dig deep into philosophy of life, you are more towards the non-material side of things, this can be a really good period for your spiritual growth. It helps you find answers, it helps you stay in solitude, dig deep into your own mind, spend a lot of time meditating, etc. Right? Then here, it also makes Saturn sitting in the sixth, also makes a connection with the 12th house, as I said earlier. So, for those of you who are in foreign trade, import and export, etc., this could be a time where it keeps you busy. A lot of work can come to you, a lot of activity towards your business matters. You could be working also in an MNC. So, anywhere where a foreign connection is involved, this brings in times of more traction, more growth happening. You stay more busy, more connections get formed. Also, for some people, this could be a time to overwork. They might be overworking themselves because they have to kill the competition. So if you're a student who's studying, who has to beat some competition, get a seat somewhere in some institute, or you are somebody who's trying out for a job, this is a time period to put in that extra work, to put in that extra effort to get to your goals. So Saturn here sitting in the sixth will make you more hardworking, right? Put in that hard work, and Saturn will also help you achieving your goals, help you beat the competition. For some of you, this may be a difficult time if you're trying to conceive. So, conception wise, this could be a little tough period. There could be difficulty in conception. Medical help may be required. More visits to the hospitals, more visits to the doctors, expenses, medical expenses can also go up. So, make sure that you're taking care of your health here, especially if you're prone to any bone related problems, any vata related problems. Take care of yourself. Make sure that you're eating well, that you're eating fresh food, you're not eating stale food. A lot of hard work towards maintaining relationship with your siblings, with your childhood friends is also seen on the cards. So overall, this is a period of challenges, yes, but Saturn here in the sixth also helps you grow through that challenge. It's sitting in a Upche Bhava. Saturn is comfortable here in the sixth, provided you also put in your efforts. Nothing happens only with the transits. There's a lot of effort, there are a lot of hard works. Your free will also needs to be exercised for any planet to deliver what it wants to deliver to you. Now, moving on to the next sign of Libra. So, for Libra, Saturn comes to the fifth house. The sign of Aquarius moves from the fourth to the fifth. It is a Yoga Karak planet for you. And your Dhaya also ends, right? So, here now, Saturn from here aspects the seventh house with this third aspects the 11th house and the second house also. This would be a period of gains, financial gains. Saturn is impacting the second house and the 11th house. So, financial gains, material gains can be seen during this period. Your income can go up, and so can be your expenses or your investments. That is up to you how you take it, what you do with your income. So, try to invest the extra income which you are getting, which you're going to get. This is a favorable time to make long term investments. Invest your liquid cash. Also, for people who have their own business ventures or who are in partnership ventures, this will be a period of more growth. So, this time period seems to be very favorable in terms of your monetary growth, but some efforts may be required towards your relationships, towards your marriage, the way you handle your life partner, how your relationship is with your spouse. That may require extra work. Some foreign element can come in your businesses, etc. So you may be dealing with some foreign item or some investment or some person who's not from where you are, right? So some foreign element can also be seen in your business. More investment can come, right? So financially, it's going to be a busy time. Business will do well, but this could be a time of some strain in your relationship with your children or with your siblings also. Now, that is something which you'll really have to work on, right? So, financially, a great time. Relationship wise, do take care of how you're managing or how you're handling your relationships. Saturn here makes you more wise, makes you more mature in the way you think, in the way you plan for the future also. So this is a period where you'll be using more of your head, calm and composed approach towards future planning, towards making plans. So more of head work, more of brain work. Make sure that you're taking your heart also along, right? Evaluate people properly. So don't just see whatever is to be seen. Don't just go on facts. Study people properly, whether you're making a business deal or it's a new relationship or it's a new romantic liaison. It's very important to evaluate the people properly, observe them, be a little more patient, and see what finally you get to the table. Then moving on to the next sign of Scorpio. So if you have a Scorpio ascendant, in such a case, Saturn comes to the fourth house, moves from the third and comes to the fourth house. And from here, it aspects the sixth house, the 10th house, as well as the Lagna. So again, the Kendra is getting affected. This is going to be a good period for the Scorpio ascendant. From an Apoklim house, Saturn has come to a Kendra Bhava. So from the third to the fourth, all the efforts which you had been putting in, which Saturn was asking you to put in earlier, now can bear fruit, right? So here there could be a chance of acquiring more immovable assets, more property or vehicles. You could be upgrading your property, moving from a smaller house to a bigger house, making a better investment. So Saturn kinds of strengthens that possibility as well for you. So great time, make use of this. You could also end up purchasing agricultural land. This may also work out for a few people, especially if you're undergoing a favorable dasha also, right? A lot of you who are working from home or who are doing a business from home may also see a lot of hard work and may also see a lot of activity, work coming into you, and you get a little more busier than before, right? There is also a lot of effort required to fight off any conflicts or any opposition. So if you are in a legal conflict, if you are in any kind of a dispute, I think that extra effort is required now. Do remember that this is a good time to pay off the loans which you are on. Avoid taking any extra loans, any extra financial liability on yourself. So don't increase your creditors. This is a time to pay off, make an effort towards paying off your debts, paying off your loans, etc. Right? Any kind of, this also could be a time period where work could be a little stressful, as I said in the beginning. So this keeps you very busy, but this could also bring in a lot of stress to you. So work related stress can also be seen. So organize your work properly. Follow discipline in the way you work. Organize things around you very well, and you'll be able to tide through this time as well. Again, this is a time period which asks you to be more involved, at your workplace as well as towards your home, towards your family matters. So this is going to be a busy period for you. Make sure that you're making the most of it also, because this can be a fruitful period also for you, as I said. So moving on to the next sign of Sagittarius. For Sagittarius, Saturn is coming to the third house. Sign of Aquarius falls there. And from here, it aspects the fifth, the ninth, and the 12th houses. Now here for Sagittarius ascendant, if you're seeing it from your moon sign, if you have a moon sign of Sagittarius, then in such a case, your Sarasati ends, right? But in case of Sagittarius ascendant, Saturn from the third house aspects the fifth house where you have Jupiter and Rahu. Jupiter and Rahu will be conjunct there for a few months. So your Lagnesh will get aspected for a long time. I mentioned this specifically for the Sagittarius ascendant because it is your Lagnesh. It is another slow moving planet and Saturn will be aspecting it. So they form a connection. Jupiter being your Lagnesh. So here you see that a lot of effort is required. You can see a lot of growth provided you are self reliant, provided you are dependent on yourself only. You want to put in a lot of efforts, whichever be your area of work. So look at yourself, put in that extra bit on by yourself. So, whatever be your creative ideas, the way you want to execute them, the way you want to go about your work, the way you want to plan things is something which Saturn makes you do. So, you plan ahead for the future, you plan, use your creativity. There'll be a lot of hard work required for the required towards your children as well. This could be a period where you make that extra effort for the betterment of your child's future, of your children's future as such. Saturn also aspects the ninth house. So the third and the ninth are also getting affected. Saturn is sitting in the third and aspecting the ninth. So here a lot of journeys can be seen, a lot of pilgrimages can be seen, or long distance travels, a connection, or maybe a reconnection with your father, with your gurus. A lot of learning can also take place during this time. Saturn is sitting in a Upche Bhava, remember. So from here, whatever it does, it makes it grow. So you can have a better relationship with your father, you can have a better relationship with your gurus, learn more, that can be seen, travel more. Saturn is also aspecting the 12th house. So again, that reinforcement happens, travel plans, moving out of home, change of residences, more spiritual growth, the way you view life, the way you think, the way you want to grow spiritually, how your mind works. A lot of things see a transformation, a lot of things undergo changes also, right? So, this is a good period, I would say, much better than what you have had earlier. Do take care of your sleep, do take care of the rest which you get, because Saturn aspecting the 12th house, being in the third house itself, can disturb your sleep patterns. You could overthink, you could over worry, and be over involved in a lot of things, and this could lead to less of sleep and less of rest also. Now moving on to the next sign of Capricorn. So for Capricorn, Saturn is the Lagnesh and it will be in the second house in the sign of Aquarius. And from here, it aspects the fourth house, the eighth house, as well as the 11th house. Right? So two Dhan Bhavas. Dhan, I would say why? Because second house is a Dhan Bhava and the eighth house is also in a way Dhan Bhava of your spouse. So if you're married, this becomes a very important point. So in your family as such, a lot of financial decisions, a lot of investment matters, all these things, family and finances, these things could be a major area of work for you during these coming 2 years. Also, a lot of investment can also be seen. Investment in immobile property, in movable assets, vehicles, joint investments, right? Two family houses, kutum bhavas. The second house is also the house of family, and the fourth house is also your relationship, your home as such. People who live in your house, they are also getting impacted. So, a lot of family matters, financial matters can always be an area of concern for you. You get to put in more work towards your home, towards your properties, towards your immovable assets, right? Also, for some, this could be a change of profile or a change of job also, which gets indicated. So you may like to change, your job from one to the other. Your responsibilities at work could change. You could also connect very well with your social circle, with your professional networks, and this could lead to changes thereafter in your job. So professional networking can help you out. But overall, this is a very good period for your financial growth. The second and the 11th houses both are getting impacted by Saturn. Saturn is your Lagnesh also. So this is an excellent time period for financial growth, right? Make sure that you're keeping the warmth in your family alive. Saturn in the second house, though it's good for financial matters, but sometimes it can make you very cold and make you very detached sometimes in the family, within the family. So make sure that you take care of all of that, right? Then moving on to the next sign of Aquarius. So for Aquarius, Saturn is the Lagnesh. It is coming back to the Lagna. And from here, it aspects the third house, the seventh, as well as the 10th house. So overall, this is a period whenever the Lagnesh comes to the Lagna, it is a recharging time. You get to see things differently, things change, you get to see things in a very wise and a very matured manner as well. So here you could see that there are a lot of changes happening within. You're ready to put in more initiative, ready to take in more responsibility also. You grow as a person. For those who are looking at marriage, this could be an excellent time. Relationships can get finalized, relationships can happen, new ones can come in your life. Though Saturn in the Lagna is, it is strong though because it is in the Lagna, but it loses its Digbal. Saturn in the seventh is the most Digbali, gets directional strength. But in the Lagna, it's just the opposite, right? So if Saturn is strong in your birth chart also, or if it's a Saturn return for you, then this could be a very good time period for you, right? Take care of your health though, because Saturn in the Lagna can make you worry a lot, can make you take up a lot of stress unnecessarily, or it could give you a sense of detachment from people. So you are sitting with people, but you're feeling very detached. So make sure that you're managing your feelings well, right? So Saturn on the lower plane shows depression also, shows some mental issues, mental, worries also. So make sure that you're managing your mind, managing your emotions very well. This is an excellent time for your work, that extra thrust which you need at work, that extra work which you need to put in. Keep yourself busy towards work. Saturn is the planet of work, of discipline, of structure as such, right? Of consistency. So make sure that you're consistent, right? So, and Saturn coming into the Lagna in its own sign, in its Mool Trikon sign of Aquarius, anyways, is forming a Raj Yoga of sorts, making a Panch Mahapurush Yoga, which is called the Shasha Yoga. So materially or in terms of the social growth which you see, this is an excellent time. But manage your mind and emotions well. Think over a lot of issues in a very structured way, right? Also, a great time for people who are looking at new initiatives. You're looking at a new business venture. You're looking at some new opportunity which you need to work on. I think you can put in your mind. You can look at such issues as well. Moving on to the next sign of Pisces. For Pisces, Saturn comes to the 12th house in its own sign. So it is in a Trik Bhava, and from there it aspects the ninth house, the seventh house, as well as the second house. So it is sitting in a Trik Bhava, aspecting another Trik Bhava, aspecting a Dharma Bhava, and the Dhan Bhava as well. So here, this could be a time of lot of spiritual progress. The way you look at life, the way you think, the way you view things around you, the way you understand the karmic patterns, the way you understand your own karma, you're able to understand things better. Saturn sitting in the 12th anyways gives you that sense of detachment from people around you. It is aspecting the sixth house, aspecting the ninth house also. So here, for some, this could be a time of letting go. Forgive people, let go of things which no longer serve you. Look at the future. When the next Daya starts, as in when Saturn enters the sign of Pisces 2 years hence, you can make a fresh start. So let go of old things, let go of old patterns, and be ready for the new. This 2 years can be a wonderful time to do that. On the material side, for many of you, majority of you, this will be a period where you get to travel a lot, where you get connected to the to faraway places, to foreign people, new cultures, new people by way of work, by way of studying. So you get to travel a lot and you connect with a lot of new people. For some, marriage can also take place, right? So some alliance comes through and converts into marriage during this period. That can also take place. Also, Saturn aspecting the sixth house helps you tide over a lot of negativity of the sixth house. So you want to repay your debts, you want to do away with your loans, or there is some disease which has been bothering you for a long time, now can start getting settled down. You may get the right treatment. Your medical expenses can come down with Saturn being in the 12th. It suppresses your expenditure towards medical care also, right? So here I would say overall this is a mixed period for the Pisces ascendant. Towards your financial growth, you'll have to work a lot. So saving money, building up your liquid assets, as in your cash, could be an area of work. Finances will have to be managed well, right? So overall, it's a mixed period. Do make the most of it, and do spend a lot of time in introspection. This will help you in becoming a better person and help you let go of a lot of negativity in your life as well. Right? So that was all about the 12 ascendants. Uh, any transit which we see, we always need to see with respect to our natal chart, with respect to our the promises in our birth chart. So do always keep that in mind. Transits do not work alone by themselves. Your chart has to support the transit. Yeah. On that note, I take your leave and I'll see you very soon in my next video. Till then, take care. Goodbye.